What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Westerbros. We're back. Sorry for the long sabbatical. We were out there for a minute. I'm Andrew Schulz. I'm here with my man Haney, my man Jack, my man Marco. Oh, you're just gonna be different? You just gonna be are you trying to figure out the microphone stand still? I think we've done about 20 episodes of what is this called? Westerbros, and he's still figuring out the stand.
I don't understand why we don't have headsets.
Bro, we're not doing a headset. Stop trying to deflect. You know it's the stand. Guys, we just saw Ready Player One. Okay? I am mesmerized. My mouth was agape for the first, I don't know how long the movie was.
It was 2 hours.
It was a 2 hour movie? I would say an hour and a half.
2 hours
Okay,
and 20 minutes.
I'm interested in this hot take. I'm interested in the hot take from Jack, because Jack is the one of us that didn't like it. I didn't say that. But, okay, you had, well, we'll get there. I was blown away. I was mesmerized. I would go so far to say it is the best movie that I can remember seeing. Meaning, like, I don't remember when I saw Swingers really the first time. I don't remember when I saw other, like, these great movies.
Goodfellas.
You know, Inception, you know, these type of things. Like, of recent memory, it's the best movie I've seen. Like you, I could spend another hour there. I could spend 2 more, an infinite amount of time. I wish it was a TV show. I wish I could go on every single. It was, for me, the Oasis.
Yeah.
Watching it felt like the distraction, and I hope everybody that's watched the movie knows what's happening in the movie. I don't think it's worth. Is it worth us to kind of give them a description?
It's worth it because the previews are mad confusing. Because
the previews do not do it justice.
That's what we talked about the last time, and then you guys clued me in on Spielberg, and then I went out and made a prediction, said it was going to be great.
Spielberg,
right.
You were right.
You know
Spielberg is. I mean, he's already a GOAT, obviously, but this is one of those things, and this has happened to me once before with Patrice O'Neal, right? I saw Patrice O'Neal at live, and I remember it was at Comics Comedy Club, and I went, and after watching it, and I was like, wow, I don't know if I can do that.
This was pretty early on in your career.
This is early on in my career, and this is early on. I was like, I don't know if I can do what I just saw, and I was like, I gotta work really hard. I gotta operate at the highest level to even do that, and I rarely admit that shit to myself.
Sure,
you know what I mean? Like, even if I can't do it, I just turn that fucking knob off, and I go, no, I'll figure out a way.
Right.
I watched this movie, and I'm like, I don't even know where you begin.
Yeah.
I don't even know where. You have to develop such a breadth of knowledge of just dork shit to even come close to, I mean, just like the little thing. A Ninja Turtle pops up here, a Hadouken is popping up there, a fucking, I mean, the giant, what? Chucky's popping. It's like, and you had to be an expert about the video game. You had to know about the video game. Like,
you got to remember that he didn't write it. He just directed it. This is based off of a book.
So the real nerd is the one who made it.
Ernest Cline, the dude who wrote it.
We got to talk to him because he has never seen a pussy. The fucking guy, whatever his name, must be Ernest Cline.
Right.
That's yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Which he was great, by the way.
Fantastic.
Mark Rylance.
That guy.
Yes. Great.
If you pop your
on the spectrum, like just
lift up, sit up. Ready? I got you. Come up with it. Yeah, I want to give you some height, bro. Come on.
Mark Rylance was from Bridges
Spies. He won the Oscar for that.
Bridges Spies.
Did Spielberg do Bridges Spies?
Yeah, and Spielberg did BFG. He was the BFG.
So he loves this Rylance.
He loves this guy, but this guy's fucking great.
Guys,
but yeah, man,
I am blown away. I mean,
you had a single tear.
Oh, I got one tear. He got me. I had to admit it to Marco because he was on the tear side. I thought he saw it. Like, it was, what was the part of it?
I didn't, like, my eyes were locked onto the screen.
Okay, so you didn't see my tear.
No.
I just didn't want you to be like, you crying? Like, I needed to Drake it. I needed to call it out first so that you couldn't.
I was on board.
Marco, you were ready about it because you fucking loved it as well, too. You talked.
Yo, this was one for us, like our generation. Like, because you watch that, there's no way you cannot feel just like this overwhelmingly positive feeling of nostalgia. And it was like so great, and it was like tastefully done the way that they worked all the characters in. It was wildly entertaining. It had a message, but it was also like, I mean, it was like nice and like light. Like, this is what I want to see after like my week of working. Like, this is the type of shit that I want to be entertained by.
It was the oasis. It was the distraction.
It was an escape.
Life, and that's what video games are, right? Like, the movie was a metaphor for itself
And it was like oddly plausible when you really think about the direction like society's going.
It's already there.
It's like it's like
We're
already at that level. Yeah.
They didn't use crazy goggles. They used the fucking Samsung shits that we already got. Like I feel like we should actually, all four of us, after the movie, we should go to this virtual reality place that
VR World.
Have you been to it?
No, it's right near me though.
Okay, because Alex goes there. Have you heard of this place?
He goes there like a lot. Like you go there like once a week.
Yeah.
No, he was like, it's a good date spot. Every girl I've asked on to go to a date, she's like, no, I'm not going to virtual reality. You want me to walk off a building on a plank? No, take me to a restaurant.
Have you seen the billboards around the city that say like it's for the Museum of Sex and they have a virtual reality exhibition that's going on now?
No.
And I'm like, that seems weird and interesting. I'm intrigued.
I'm going, but I'm not sitting on anything. Just fucking nut all over the place.
Soundtrack by Diplo, I think, or something.
Soundtrack by Diplo, yeah.
Coxman, that guy.
Yeah.
Diplo, yeah.
All of us know. Not even surprised by the take.
Yes.
Haney, thoughts?
I thought it was really,
We're
really
saving
good.
Jack's hate for that.
I thought it was
really don't have
really
that much
good.
hate.
Okay, go.
I didn't love it like the way you two loved it. Like you two standing after the fucking movie ended.
Yeah, but you were also there with your wife who's with child.
Yeah,
Congrats to Haney. Dick
but
works.
I have sex. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Leave it in there, boy. You know what I'm saying?
At least once he can prove it.
Yeah,
That's
at least
what's
one
up,
time.
man.
None of y'all
That's
can prove
what's
it
up.
one time.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Mm-hmm.
It was probably not as good as say what was last thing we did was Black Panther. Probably wasn't as good as Black Panther. Better than Thor, right?
Yeah.
As far as entertainment wise, I did like the message. I did think it was pretty realistic. Sadly, right? I do think that world is probably not far from where we're at right now.
Like there are people who are like, they're living on top of each other. How do they do that? It's like, come to New York.
Yeah,
The stacks
what I
are
wanna
not
know is,
that different than
why are they
Manhattan.
building the trailer parks stacked up?
I think that it's like, for me, it was a metaphor for projects.
Yeah.
Right? It's
Right.
like,
No, yeah.
What are
Space, so build
projects? Projects are trailer park homes. Just put one on top of the other, on top of the other, on top of the other. And it's like, oh, this is how people... And he wasn't even...
They briefly at the beginning touched upon what caused this. They said some corn syrup.
It's just Ohio, man.
I don't know, but that sounds like a good thing. Like high fructose corn syrup is killing
bad,
people.
yeah.
I didn't get it.
That part I didn't get.
They should have switched that shit to a soy tariff.
Right.
Listen, but there's parts of the movie that are corny as hell.
But good corny.
Like what?
Good corny.
Like what?
I mean, a lot of it.
A lot of the lines.
Come on, man.
A lot of the lines.
Don't be that guy.
A lot of the dialogue.
Yo, give me
But that
one.
was very,
Give me
felt
one.
very
I get it.
intentional.
Fam, give me one. Because I got emotional and I was holding it back.
Yo, at the
Give
very
me
end,
one.
when he talks to the girl, he gets in the cab and he gives the typical villain direction, tries to give her a speech, and then she punches him in the face. That's was very 80s, 90s action movie thing, but that felt very intentional and it warmed my heart.
Here's what I found, because my complaint too is that it was pretty corny at times. My other complaint is that it was a little too long. Could have been a little shorter. It was a ride. I did have a great time watching that movie. All the references, and I'm a gamer too, so seeing the little game references, I'm like, oh, that's cool that they worked that in there. But I found that the corny dialogue worked when you're in the Oasis and you see the video, the virtual characters, and as soon as they were the real people, I was like, yo, that's corny, man.
Can I tell you why that is?
When Homeboy was I'm going to take the leap. That shit was kind of...
Can I tell you why that is?
Yeah.
I have a theory on this. Cartoons are perfect actors.
Yeah.
The cartoon conveys the exact emotion you want it to convey because you draw it to have that emotion.
Right.
An actor is fallible. An actor can be bad. I'll be honest, I didn't think the Lena Waithe character, whatever, what is her name?
Yeah.
Is that her name? Lena Waithe?
Lena Waithe, yeah.
I didn't think she was good. I thought she kept bombing her lines. But when she was the cartoon, she was killing it. She was incredible.
And the main dude too, a lot of his lines were corny. It was all corny dialogue, but it worked so well when he was Parzival. And when he was in the real world, I was like,
oh, you want to bother me the
most?
most? Just how he looked, just what his avatar looked like. His cartoon version of himself.
Oh, you didn't like
he
that?
He looked so like someone I don't want to root for.
And he looked, a friend of yours, or?
He looked like a friend of. He looked like a friend of Marco's.
You have a friend that's an elf.
That's fucked up.
But that guy.
Why don't you want to root for my boy?
I do want to root for your boy. It was the hair. I think it's the weird
What's
dumb
wrong?
hair.
He's got the Super Saiyan Ryu.
It was awful,
dude. And when he hit him with the fucking Hadouken,
yeah, well, that was awesome.
Just the little tidbits. The little look.
But listen, you said it was too long. Yeah, I was locked in the whole time.
There was a couple times.
And usually a 2 hour 20 movie like this, I'd be like, this is way too fucking long. I was actually locked in the whole time.
Yeah. Yo, I'm not
the last 10 minutes, I was like, all right, now let's wrap it up. But to get to 2 hours and 10 minutes for I even think that, that's really good.
I'm not one to complain about a long movie. If I'm into the movie and I'm into the world and I'm into the story, I normally don't complain. But I found myself wanting to check my phone a couple times, seeing what time
This
it
is the
was.
second time you've complained about a movie liked.
Yo, movie lengths are a real
I'm saying,
I don't believe you.
I'll
then.
go all out on the extended Lord of the Rings all day. I'll watch that shit all day.
Okay.
So this world wasn't crazy enough for you?
It was just a lot, man. It felt like a lot. Like they were just throwing as much shit as they could.
So speaking of Lord of the Rings, at the beginning, like the first 10 minutes, I'm like, so this is kind of like Willy Wonka meets Lord of the Rings
Meets Inception.
meets Inception meets a video game.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what kind of and then
Sign me up.
all of that.
Sign me up.
You just described the best movie
No,
ever.
but it's like, a basketball player who's built like LeBron, jumps like Vince Carter, shoots like Steph Curry. Like, I don't want him on my team. I don't want him.
Veterans minimum.
We talked about one time like how Netflix is just kind of just taking like the hot button things, throwing them an algorithm like let's make a movie like what was the Will Smith one?
Bright.
Bright, right? Like
Great movie.
They like this, they're like this. I was like, is this gonna do that? But Spielberg actually managed it.
So Spielberg
fucking bodied it. I'll say that.
He
Listen,
fucking
bodied
destroyed everything. The way that the story was crafted. I mean, they had enough urgency and enough stakes. Like be honest, I didn't think his aunt was gonna die. But not only does his aunt die, everybody in the stack dies.
Yeah.
You have real life death in a kids movie.
Yeah.
What is this, PG-13?
Yeah, there's some swearing.
Yeah, but they don't show the death.
Borderline
That's the
nudity.
thing, right?
They don't show it, but at the same time, you know they die.
they
so
die.
it's like, real shit's happening right now because you need to plug us into reality. Right, like if it's just happened in the video game world, that was my issue with the Black Panther when the white guy was trying to stop the things from happening. It was like, yeah, but there's no real stakes here.
Yeah,
But
you know
that's
he's
what
not
she
gonna
said to him. She was like, "This is just a game for you. This is real to me." 'Cause she said this was fact. So then that happened to him, and now it's kind of like,
Right.
okay, it's real to you now.
Yeah, it then became real to him.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, but it was just, I just feel like, dude, what?
But
I don't want to nitpick. This is gonna sound
nip-
nitpicky. I'm a nitpick. All right.
no shit.
So after his aunt died, the next scene, he meets the girl for the first time. And he's there. He's not even grieving about his aunt. He's just
why do
like,
you think he fell in love so
he's
fast?
just like, what's up, boo?
Why do you think he fell in love?
Went to like,
No, he's in a stressful situation. He's focused. I mean,
that's
I don't
daddy
understand.
issues. That's
Yeah.
mommy issues
That's
right
true.
there. You know,
Okay.
first of all, he's already used to not having parents. They dead.
Nitpick
True.
number 2.
All right.
I hate in movies. This is just
I think I'm gonna agree with you. We'll go.
No, like
Go.
so at the end when they're in like that ice world that they're in, and
Doom Planet.
and
Planet
the villain
Doom.
is in the Godzilla avatar.
Yeah.
right. Why is he fucking watching? Everyone's like, "I'm a sacrifice for you. Go save the fucking world," and he just stays and just watches all his friends get their ass kicked. Wow! Instead of running into the fucking building, like you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Who? Yeah, what?
Percival.
No, he's not. He's in the car whipping it.
No, after that, after he gets out the car and he's supposed to run to the building, and the girl runs back to go fight Godzilla, and she gets on with the Iron Mountain, whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He's like, when you see the Godzilla fall, he's still just like sitting there watching it. Like, motherfucker, you should have been halfway through the fucking building by now. But
I
that's
don't
just
know.
dumb shit.
I don't know what
That
you're
was
talking
dumb.
about, bro.
Okay, I have no idea.
3. This is my biggest nitpick.
Yeah, please.
This is my biggest
Can
nitpick.
you
Can it be a little
let
bit
it
more
be a little
easily
bit more
identifiable?
It was actually my wife's biggest nitpick.
You're talking about a 15-second scene in the movie 2 hours long. That's what you're gonna knock out. The whole movie was fucking CGI. Okay, it was unbelievable. He didn't run into the building fast enough when his one true love and his only friend in the world was getting demolished by a Godzilla.
What are you at the combine clocking 40 times?
behavior. Yo, the drones are looking for the fucking van with the paint on it.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
paint over the fucking van, and no one's finding you.
Yo, they
you
didn't
stupid
have- yeah.
motherfucker. You know how to save the whole world, but you don't know how to
That
paint
was the
over a
one thing
fucking.
that- they didn't
all
have
you
a-
gotta do is draw one paint
You know
streak,
what? You're
and the
absolutely
recognition
right.
would have fucking
No,
been
that's
like,
a good
oh, not it.
point. That's a
They
good
should've
point.
known to beat
Because
that.
everybody just
I
has
agree with
paint. Or why don't we just go to Walmart
can't find
while
paint?
we're saving the world and then
can't
just
find
go
paint?
buy some paint?
Throw
That's
gum
what we
on the
should do.
motherfucker, something.
Yeah, just chew up gums until you find it.
Just
Fuck
come up
outta here.
one
Yo,
it's
they're
identify-
dying. They
it's
don't got time for arts and crafts.
The one thing I was gonna say I didn't like is when he met her in real life, like they did the typical like it was more like I guess 90s movies things where they take like a cute girl and they give her like an obvious defect
Yeah.
that doesn't make them not cute anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they're
yeah.
like, oh, she can't look at me, and like she did
yeah.
that whole
They
thing with the
weren't
hair.
gonna make her
like, let me
age.
see it, and like he opens it, it's just like you got like a slight discoloration. Like that,
I thought she
not a
got
deal breaker.
snuffed. I was like,
Yeah.
what?
But it wasn't like, oh my god, you're hideous.
No, she was adorable with it. I thought it was cute.
but
I understand what you're saying.
her insecurity just felt
it's
unnecessary.
Yeah, but I get it. It shows more about us.
Yeah, it does.
which is like,
All right.
we still want you to be hot with your little thing wrong with you. And then I'm sure also nerds that are watching are like, oh, I have a I have a chance now.
Yeah,
she's ruined it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I remember when I was in Argentina, I couldn't get laid, and I was at the club. I was looking for a chick with like missing a fingertip or some shit.
Just something.
I swear, I just couldn't get laid for like a week, and I was just I was looking for fat chicks, anything just wrong with them. But where my friends wouldn't know, but I knew that she would be appreciative of me.
Sure.
You know, so I think that's what Percival was.
Preying on low self-esteem.
Yeah. I think he saw
need.
that exactly, and he was like, "Oh, I got this pussy." Like he went right for it, right? He was like, "I love you," right off that. Come on now.
So none of us read the book, obviously.
Yeah.
No, come on now.
I think what this reaction is right here is because none of us have read the book and we don't have that nitpicky. This didn't happen. This didn't happen. This didn't happen. All of my friends have read this book, and all of them had different things to say about the movie and negative things to say about it. So I was actually not expecting.
But that's everybody who reads a book, right?
Right. That's the thing. Like whenever,
So anything specific?
I'm just talking about like in general. Whenever someone's like, "Yo, I read the book," I'm hesitant to see the movie because I don't want it to ruin my perception of the book.
Exactly.
I just don't read the book.
When was the book written?
I just wait for the movie to come out. I don't know. I think I want to say
is like 80s, 90s, or is it more recent?
Maybe 2000s.
I think you hit the nail on the head, right? It's you have a perception of what this world looks like when you read a book.
In your head, yeah.
Exactly.
And it's different for every reader.
And the director, there's no way they could possibly have the same perception.
Right.
Like when what was those movies with
I picked Spielberg's vision over than the guy who wrote the book, though. Like, I mean, fuck that guy.
Right, well, no, would you be saying that if you had read the book?
No, but this isn't Spielberg's over the guy who wrote the book. This is Spielberg's over yours. So while you're reading the book, you imagine what he looks like. Like remember Robert Langdon? What are those series of movies?
Angels and Demons, Da Vinci Code.
Da Vinci Code. Like Robert Langdon to me was not Tom Hanks, right? Yeah. Robert Langdon was Richard Gere.
So
he was a handsome motherfucker in a tweed jacket.
Good choice. Good choice.
I would have cast Gere. I mean, I'm just saying, right? You want a guy who can get the pussy, not a guy who's going to be like, oh, I'm so likable and I'll get some pussy. You know what I mean? Take it.
So I think that when you're reading the book, especially with the Da Vinci Code and those books, and I'm sure with this book, there's all the details that are in there.
Yeah.
Here the details are just kind of flashing up for a second and then going, and they're trying to cram it in, and you see the forcing of that.
Yeah.
Where we didn't notice the forcing of it, we just kind of see things happening.
How do you even write that? Like, I need to read the book now. How do you even write that course, the race course?
That was crazy.
How do you write the fucking... I don't even know in words to describe that right now. I could not describe that to you right now.
I don't think I could imagine something better than that, what I saw, though.
No, that was great. That was a great sequence, yeah.
How could that be how would you say what that was to somebody?
It was in the context of the movie or like in the script?
Describe that scene to somebody.
Write that chapter right now.
I don't even have the vocabulary.
Major opening action sequence for the movie where there's a race to get to the end, and at the end is the key to
that. Sounds exciting. Can't wait to see that movie or read that book. Like, how do you say the bridge becomes a bridge? Remember, like shifted. No, not even to go down. Remember that one point to start the race, the bridge shifts across the water. Like the things are breaking up. Godzilla's coming out of the ground.
Like, see, if I read the book, I'd be like, you know what? You know why that sucks? Because in the book, it's not Godzilla. It's this, or it's not that. It's that. And so it's like this nitpicky thing. I usually see these movies with the people who have read the books, and it's annoying because I'm like, yo, your experience isn't my experience. I waited to see till this movie came out. I didn't read the fucking book, so don't ruin my experience. Like,
you can't go with those people,
right? You can't go with them. That's why I think we all went. We were like, yo, this was great. We had a good experience, but if there's that, all it takes is one person to be like, yo, man, it's not the book. It's not the same as the book.
I just love Marco was having so much fun, and I was having so much fun.
We were having so much fun.
Dude, it was the best.
We were having fun together.
It was great. Yeah.
It was amazing.
Jack polished off a whole bucket of popcorn. It was amazing.
We were just like ribbing each other to
the whole time.
Oh, it was so good.
Yeah, what'd he say? I don't know. Neither of us knew what was going on. It was still exciting, dude.
It's true.
Okay, here's a question.
Yeah.
You said it's not that far-fetched, right? This idea of virtual reality. Obviously, Alex has a date spot that he's going to. It's a thing that can't happen. So the ethical thing is, well, I think part of the discussion here was like, is there an ethical responsibility, right? That was the thing between Morrow, who was the creator, the autistic creator, and then his business partner was Augie or Ogden or something like that. And I think Og was like, yo, there's an ethical responsibility we have.
Right. And he basically had it as this pure vision of what, like, no rules, no boundaries. I don't want
to touch it. Very libertarian.
Yes.
Right. And then Augie was a little bit more kind of, what would you say?
Pragmatic. There's implications to what's going to happen here. Yeah. We need to be prepared for it.
People's lives could be hurt. They could. And so, okay. So two questions. One is this good? Is having a virtual reality good? I mean, I just came back from Rochester and Toledo. People have to live there their whole life.
I mean, yeah.
If they had a fucking oasis, like part of me is like, what an amazing thing. Like,
it's not the worst thing.
It's a great thing.
It's kind of like college. Right?
It's fucking college.
You play Madden all day. You get high, eat pizza. You do it again the next day. I mean, maybe
you got your seats.
Maybe you
got your Madden clothes.
But that's it. You're in sweats playing Madden for 18 hours. Like, let's call it is what it is. That's what college is.
And you have your debt, and then you work it off in a loyalty factory.
Right, yeah, you know.
Which is a job. Dude, this is a metaphor for college.
And everyone just talks about going back to college, right? Like, to be like,
that was the time,
When you first start working, you're like, oh, man, I wish I could go back to college. You know? So it's not the worst thing. It's not the worst thing.
It might be a great thing. Like, think about all the people who, like, we're fucking spoiled, dude. We are either born in a situation that allows us to be here right now, or we've put ourselves into this situation through also being spoiled, being able to go to college, you know, being able to, you know, having friends somewhere,
100%,
whatever, making good decisions. But there are people that won't get out of the situation.
No.
And what if they could for 4 hours a day? I mean, go into the fucking Oasis and live your best life.
Yeah.
Well, that's why video games.
Hey, don't we? I mean, we've done this our whole lives, like whether it be through video games or going to a movie. We've done these things, right? Like when you play basketball, you're out of this world that you kind of live in for a while.
Oh, it's the best.
It's the best.
It's the best.
Right? This is just a whole nother level where you can get interactive and create the world.
Sure.
Right?
That's right. Because
when you watch a movie,
it.
you're just a part. You're not even. You're just a consumer.
Yeah.
Right. And this, like, you can create. You could build the world. You could do whatever the fuck you want.
And does that exist now? Are there video games where you're actively part of the construction of the world?
What's this Fortnite?
I mean, look,
shit?
there's no, this isn't Fortnite.
I don't fuck with that shit.
So you got your massive multiplayer online worlds like World of Warcraft, Second Life. These like online games where you have a avatar. And you have your whole like life in this game, and people get absorbed with it because some people just all they do.
People
is
watch each other play the fucking video games.
Well, that's a whole other thing.
They're selling e-gaming merchandise.
Yeah,
that's true.
There's people making like thousands of dollars a week just streaming.
You want to know a crazy fact? Guys that play NBA 2K for a living make more than guys who play in the NBA G League.
No way.
Oh yeah,
guys who
easily.
play fake basketball are making more than guys who play real basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's insane.
There's guys that are making like a lot of money doing this.
I heard one dude was making $300,000 a week streaming Fortnite.
Yeah, I heard
and Drake joined in on his thing, and then it just blew.
Oh,
up.
that's right.
Okay, but finish what you say. So
my whole thing is like this exists. It's just video game format, right? So it's like people have that escapism. If you're living in a shitty situation, you're going to find that escape in a certain video game or in whatever. Sometimes it's books, movies, whatever. People find that. But what's great is like everybody has their escapism. They can find it in this movie, whether it's through the pop culture characters. It's unlimited, yeah. And everybody, I noticed in the theater, it was the first time that like very specific reactions happened.
Yes.
Where like I saw one reference, and the one person who loves Chucky was like, "Yo, Chucky!"
Yeah,
you know, and then you see another thing, and someone's like, "Ah!"
That's a great observation.
You know, it's
like, and that's what the Oasis is, right? It's something for everyone, yeah.
But I think people find. Through all kinds of pop culture, they find escapism in different things. And this was like bringing it all together, providing this giant piece of escapism for the characters in the movie. But we can relate to that because we've had those moments, that relationship with the characters that we see on the screen.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
So I think it's probably headed that way. I think the combination
that was great.
I think the combination of VR with this basically what the Oasis is VR with online gaming and social media. Right? Like it's like all those in one, right? Because like when you're in this game, it's a representation of yourself, kind of like in social media, the way people have like profiles.
This is my best me.
Right. This is my best me. This is the me that I want.
This is my filter.
Right.
Literally, they were taking filters off their face and putting them.
Yeah.
Like when Percival became famous in the game, and like when he went out, like everyone would stop him, like, "Oh my god!" They take selfies with him. Like you could kind of see the interaction of the virtuality and the social media that you're talking about.
And then the other thing is they kind of brought in what was it, the IOI? What did it stand for?
Yeah. Who gives a fuck?
We don't know.
It was Amazon.
Yeah,
right?
Amazon, right? Amazon, Apple, Facebook. Like basically that was like the corporation. But now like
I can't wait for Trump's tweet. Saw Ready Player One. No surprise that the Amazon Washington Post gave it a great review.
But now like they actually kind of hinted at this with the e-commerce in the game, the coin.
Yes.
And like,
but that's real.
That's real. So what it is now, like if you play FIFA, right, and you build a team from scratch, you can buy these cards and maybe you get a good player in the cards, but it costs like $5 to $10 to $80. You can spend $80 on this fucking card. It's a virtual thing. It doesn't exist. If something happens, it just gets wiped out. Like,
my niece did that shit by accident.
Yeah.
My sister's Apple iPad.
Company. So what's happening now, especially Electronic Arts that makes these games, they're taking advantage of that. Like, they know the fan base is going to buy random shit that gives you that hat in a game or that player on your team.
Yeah.
And they fucking exploit it. Like, it's actually fucked up.
We act like it's so crazy, but is it really that different than buying a figurine?
No.
Right?
Wait,
is it different than buying like a little toy or something because you like Star Wars, so you buy a replica of the Millennium Falcon? Why not buy something for this character that exists?
Right.
Right? Because this character is a virtual extension of yourself. You play with Millennium Falcon with your hands. Now you have this character, which is virtual you, who plays with a fucking yo-yo or whatever you buy it. It's at first when people were doing it, I thought it was absurd. I was like, why would you buy fake things? It's all fake.
It's not, but it's not. They're investing in the reality that they want to have.
So
that's why when the guy said with the house, you lost the house money. Like, it was on that level of scale.
Yeah.
Because this life is what matters to me. Yeah. Not this life.
And I totally get it.
Right.
Right. It makes perfect sense. Wouldn't you rather put all your money in that fun life?
Sure.
Yeah. If you're investing that much time in it and you feel like that's your...
So here's the question, right? You know how they talk about one day, like, maybe robots taking over and there won't be enough work for us.
Right.
Right. And people have suggested the idea of like giving people a livable wage, meaning...
You have free money.
It's free money because there's really no more jobs left, but humans are still here, so we need to not die, right? Do we have like a ethical responsibility to not only give them that wage, but also give them
something to keep them occupied so they don't
fucking purge?
Yeah, 100%.
It's the purge.
You'd have to.
So maybe this is all the setup. Like, maybe we're living in like the last few generations of...
It's not great.
Reality is better than virtual.
Yeah, and plus when you think about like what's going to happen with the environment and all that shit, like...
Yeah.
You don't like want to hang out in Earth. You'd rather hang out on the beach in virtual reality.
Exactly, because
not the one with the oil on the sand. Yeah.
Yeah. Pelicans all fucked.
Fucked.
It's headed that way too, because Oculus Rift is the company that first
Facebook bought, right?
Facebook bought it.
Yeah.
So like, it's only a matter of time before Facebook provides something like this. You know, what if instead of a profile on a web page, your profile is your virtual space?
Yeah.
You know, and then you buy, like, instead of smart water that you can actually drink, you buy smart water virtual in your room, and it's product placement and advertising right there.
We don't even need to travel to fucking...
You know what I mean?
Dude, we don't even need to go to Italy anymore. Think about it. Like, imagine everybody that wants to go to Italy.
You just go. You just put the headset on and go.
And you're with the same people.
Yeah.
Think about it. You're with all the tourists that want to travel there. The hostel looks exactly the same.
Right.
Life would not change that much. How do you get some Italians to stay there? That's the question. Right? That's the one tricky thing is how do you get that natural organic go?
Like you said, right? It's the only place where you can get a good meal.
Yes.
So that's it.
So when I love Italy because the food is so fucking good.
It's over, dog. So you're going for a true...
No, you're going to see, like, if you're going to travel to see the place and then also have tangible
experiences.
Right?
But you can have every tangible experience other than eating.
Fucking?
But in Italy, eating is huge. Right? Like, I was just in Costa Rica. I didn't give a fuck about the food, really. Right? And you want those other experiences. In Costa Rica, like the beach and everything like that that's going on there. But
hookers, baby on the way, get it out the system.
No,
surfing and
hookers, prostitutas.
But a place like that's where everyone would flock to.
Or like Iceland. Right?
Why?
Because I'd rather eat my shoe than the food.
That food was awful.
Right now.
But yo, the views,
Tapatio in my shoe over anything in fucking Iceland. That shit is awful. Beautiful place.
Yeah, it's stunning. Iceland is stunning. Yeah.
Right? In the VR world, Iceland gets flooded because you actually don't want to go there in real life.
What about like, all right, say this thing existed and we all had this technology, right? We wouldn't go to the movies to watch this together. We'd just put this thing on and be in like a virtual movie theater watching the movie.
Yeah.
Would we play basketball? Like, hey, we're going to go play basketball. Are we playing basketball or are we playing virtual basketball? Like, it changes everything.
Oh, well,
then at this point, like, my body's ready for virtual basketball.
Let's go.
I'm ready to go.
Afterwards, I'm going to hand me a controller.
Start stacking chips and, like, buying abilities. Like, that's what I want to do.
Well, then here's the question. If our abilities increase in this virtual world, right, which it seems like they kind of do or kind of don't, maybe you have to earn it.
You can buy shit.
You have to buy shit, right? But, so I'm concerned about that because one of the fun things about basketball is the merit of it. Like when we lose a game, we lost it. When we won a game, we fucking won it.
I view it as like this. So like, you know how in Madden you have like the creator player mode, or like you draft a guy, and then you like
you are your own version of that.
And as you like practice and get better, you earn points and increase your skill rate.
And can it also decrease through aging?
Yeah,
like,
through aging, bad diet, right? Caught up in these hoes.
Yo, I love it. he hit a 3. We're like, dude, have you been doing blow all last night?
You
going to Costa Rica?
But yeah, anyway.
I'm like, what's up?
Oh, my bad.
Oh.
That's bad. That's
yeah, no,
I'm
it's
like,
just the usual shit.
Dude.
Yeah, but the problem is, so yes, you could do all this stuff, but then you're losing human connection. So and what's the downside of losing human connection?
Tell us.
Probably a fucking, no, I don't know, I'm asking. Let's have that discussion.
He's not totally sold on human connection.
No. I was gonna say, I feel like there's a big
just made a human, and he's already down.
I don't know.
He's already tapping out.
I need you to tell me.
When there's a big downside. There's a big downside to not having human connection. Because honestly, if you don't have it, once you turn it off, flip the thing off, it's going to be that much quicker for you. Just like, man, fuck this, and go right back in.
Right.
And you're completely detached from this.
You become numb to
it's your drug,
and now you're just a thing taking up space somewhere.
Of
course, it becomes a matrix. You're like the you know?
So a shitty comparison, but I understand kind of what you're saying is. It could be like what Instagram is to a lot of people has been to me on certain cases, right? It's like, and I'm off of it before 10 o'clock. I don't fucking look at likes or comments or anything because I realized I was just anytime I kind of was in an uncomfortable situation, I look at my phone and I scroll, or
you go to the other world.
I'm like in an elevator with a neighbor, which I should say hello to and like establish a connection, but it was a little uncomfortable. Just let me go to my VR.
Complain about the weather. That's what I do.
Something.
Right?
I should have done some stupid shit. But
it's April. Can you believe it? Yeah. Oh God, it's freezing out there.
No, but sometimes you need that human connection.
Yeah.
It's like but it's so easy to go on this. So I've forced myself, I've withdrawn from that easy kind of opiate, right? Yeah. So the question, the dopamine hit, right? So the question is, it's like, will we be able to?
That's why I'm off that shit, man.
But what about the Oasis? We all agree on, right? The Oasis, we're like, this is good. Maybe we'd have to limit the amount of time in the Oasis.
Yeah.
Because it's just so easy. Like, I think one of the cool messages about the movie was that, Spielberg and at least the writer, they understood the importance of human connection.
Sure.
Like, the driving part of the story was he lost his girl and he lost his best friend, the guy who created the Oasis, whatever his name was, right? He lost his girl and his best friend because he didn't have the bravery to have those human connections, right? He didn't it's scary to say hello to somebody sometimes. It's scary to say hi to a fucking girl or even hi to a neighbor.
Sure.
But you got to do it because you ultimately, you got to fucking take the leap, right? And I think that he acknowledged in the movie, like, the Oasis is an easy escape from that leap.
Well, we were forced into those situations where now it's becoming less and less of that.
Yeah, you don't have to do it as much.
You don't have to do it as much.
Imagine the younger generation,
you know what I mean?
Your kid is going to have a different experience than...
Like my niece, I watch her, she's not going over her friend's house sometimes. So they're on like this whatever app together, doing weird shit on the app together. Not like, I'm riding my bike to Andrew's house and we're going to play fucking Madden for 2 hours and then like we're going to talk about like the chick that we want to kiss in class. Like that shit's not happening though. You know what I mean?
They hang out all night in their own bedrooms.
That's crazy.
It's wild.
Connecting with each other, or they're on their little things?
No. It's a video app, and it has multiple people in it,
and they sing and dance.
And
like
you
they're hanging out, but
you can see everyone. And you're literally talking like we're all talking here, but we're each in a different room.
Yeah.
But they're just looking at they're doing like this, right? And they're like talking,
they're putting like the little bunny ears and shit.
Yeah, and they're throwing the filters on.
Already in.
We're already doing it.
We're already fucking there.
We don't have the immersion yet to be fully in it. We have the connection of, this is just a screen in my hand. But imagine when this screen is boom, right?
And you see nothing outside.
You see nothing else.
10-year-olds are doing this.
Stay woke.
10-year-olds.
And not only that, it's only going to get more
Probably
immersive,
younger.
right? So like what's crazy about the VR that exists now is like they provide the experience. If you're walking on a tightrope, but you're like strapped into this thing and you're walking and it feels like you're actually doing it, right? Or if you're in a plane, sometimes there's a simulator where it's like a little thing that's moving around as you move.
Yeah, I felt those.
Which was cool how they showed it in this movie where they had like a treadmill.
That was smart. Really quick in the beginning, but it gave them a huge leash.
Yeah.
What's that? Which one?
The little treadmill that moved.
Loved it.
Yeah.
And then it was a very quick scene.
Yeah.
The pain suit where you can feel pain, which was funny.
He felt that dick.
Yeah. But
but she touched his titties and that was feeling really good to him. Did you notice that?
He went like
I was
this.
watching that. I was like,
Okay.
all right.
I'm not the only one.
Yo, like a problem with this world is that like everyone's creating like their fake image of themselves, just like on social media.
Yeah.
But they still have to carry themselves in the real world. Like now, like on Instagram, people throw up the fake life, but in the real world, you know, you have
But people are less and less interacting though. Like that's what we're saying.
right. So as people have to interact less and less, they have to actually start working on themselves less, and then you just have a world full of shitty real life human beings.
Right. But that's what's happening.
But they're completely stunned in the Oasis.
I mean, look,
that's what's already happening.
when we say,
And then,
But
that's
I
it.
think what he's saying is like, as it goes to that extreme, at a certain point in time, we have to acknowledge that it's bad, right? We acknowledge it's bad now.
Yeah.
If it becomes, I'm in the Oasis 80% of my day,
too much.
it's too much. So there is this ethical responsibility. You have to limit it in some way. Would you let your kids be on? Dude, I don't know if I'm letting my kids be on the phone all the time, man. I might be snatching the phones at night.
Yeah, got to. But then it's like, gotta drive that motherfucker like an hour, and then you're just like, oh,
well, and then also it becomes,
iPad in the backseat, shut the fuck up.
It becomes like,
that's what it is.
That's right.
I'm not, man, I've seen the way these kids act, man. Like I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna give my kid that shit. But as soon as he's like, yo,
no, you know what it is? As soon as the kid goes, I'm the only one who doesn't have this.
That's the thing, right?
I'm unpopular
Right?
because I don't have a phone.
Remember,
and everybody else has a phone.
That's true.
How are you gonna say no to that?
Growing up for us, it was like, oh, you don't have cable, or you don't have HBO, or you don't have MTV.
Oh, you ain't got a pager?
Yeah,
Right.
you don't have a cell phone.
You don't got pennies?
It's gonna be like,
The neon green
you don't have the Oasis,
pager?
Right.
Like you're gonna be like the weird parent.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh man, your parents weird. Like you don't.
Yeah,
have,
like the parents
you
who
don't
didn't let their kids eat sugar.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
It's so funny that
You don't
20
have
years
soda
later,
in your house?
nobody's eating sugar.
right.
Yeah,
Like they were the
were right.
goofball, and they were fucking right.
They were right. They got us.
And we'll be right. If you're the parent that's like, hey, you can't be on VR all the time, you'll be right, but they won't know till it's too late.
God, there is
Right.
this thing about like, there's this thing about. I think there's a lot of things about religion that they get right, but one thing about religion I think that gets right is they understand that happiness comes through restriction.
Yeah.
Like this idea that like you just do whatever you want.
Everything in moderation.
Yeah.
Or maybe everything in moderation, but
Right.
even like withdrawing yourself from certain things and doing things that you don't like
Being disciplined.
like I don't like getting up and going to the gym,
Right.
but after I do it for a few days,
Makes you feel better.
not only does it make me feel better, my brain starts to go, hey, that thing that you do in the
I like
mornings,
that
that
now.
makes you feel better. You will hate it, but if we do it, you'll feel good. And I think that maybe it's like an American mentality, this idea of freedom, that we're supposed to do whatever the fuck we want. Whatever makes me feel good, I
Don't
should
love
do
it.
it.
And people get freaked out when you start to threaten them by taking it away.
You take any little thing
Yeah,
away,
yeah, yeah.
right? You should, hey, you shouldn't be able to drink this much fucking Coca-Cola or whatever. Now, I'm not saying that we should have, an oppressive government tell us what we can or can't do, but we have to, on some level, acknowledge, be it through religion or just be through our own personal kind of community, the restriction is very important to our happiness.
Sure.
Sure. But how do you enforce? I mean, without getting into
No, you just
It
it's
took
just
me
like
34 years to kind of figure that shit
right.
out. But like,
you just figure it out, but you can't really enforce it because when you do that, you get into.
You try and raise your kids right. Like you try.
You instill it. You instill early.
discipline and that type of thing.
but how do you explain that to somebody? Like,
I don't know, man. I'm not a parent.
yeah,
I mean,
but
don't talk to me.
But you've been military.
Yes.
Like, did you realize that like, were there certain things about that structure that you've taken into your life and realized, no, I need some structure?
Oh yeah. I mean, the first time I went when I got out of the military, the first time I had to go to the doctor and I got hit with a $50 copay, I was like, "What the fuck is this shit?" Because military takes care of everything for
Oh
me.
yeah, now you're like
You know
a
what I mean?
civilian.
Now I'm like,
you
now
gotta
I gotta
be
learn
responsible.
these things.
Yeah,
what do you
yeah.
mean my doctor's out of network? I have life insurance.
Yeah.
I can go see anybody, right? So this works. No, but like, I mean, it's just like about committing to a schedule and like when you have, like a finite period to achieve a certain number of goals, like you learn that you have to have a set schedule, like pretty much to the hour to like be able to achieve those things, right? So
Yes.
you learn very early on about like upfront planning and like just random shit like
and
that.
Purpose.
And purpose.
The importance of purpose, man. Like, I notice there'll be days where I just don't have something like important to do. I have little shit. I got to do some
Right.
laundry, this, but it's not something like pertinent, like a podcast or something I'm really excited about doing.
Yeah.
And I'm fucking
You feel like
miserable those
shit.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you two have a way different schedule than Marco and I.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Because we work like office jobs, kind of. And you guys are kind of like
I work freelance.
You're freelance. You're essentially a freelance, whatever, right?
You need to have like self-motivation.
Well, I had to learn how to do that. I'm still learning. Like if I don't have a place to be and something to do, you know, that's dangerous.
Yeah, but that's one way to create controls, though, is to have a place that you go to do work and shit like that.
Or like I get my trainer. Like I have my trainer.
That's
I'm like, I'm going to do that at 10. If I do it at 10, then I'm going to sleep by 2.
And that makes you go because you can't leave the trainer, you know.
Because you can't leave it. You don't want it to cancel on it. But you could easily just I put my phone in another room now to wake me up, so I have to get physically out of my bed to get. Yeah. But how do you explain that? Like you have a kid, you're gonna have a kid that you're gonna have to explain to them that hey, doing what feels good and what you want to do sometimes doesn't ultimately make you feel good in the long run.
You can't spoil them when they're young, so that they're not used to just getting.
They're just not used to feeling good.
Yeah, no, they're just not.
They won't know that cookie tastes good if he never has one to begin with, right?
You're gonna have the no sugar kid.
100% gonna have the no sugar kid.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
But like, you gotta not spoil them, right? So that they.
This is a very big moment for you right now. You got to get this right because you actually are happy. So no pressure.
You're on the record right now.
Just really think about this.
Yo, like you can't just say to them like that. You can't say a 6-year-old that, right? Like they're not going to understand it.
Yeah.
Right. So you just kind of have to actually exercise it, and then as they get older, you start explaining it slowly. There's good in holding back and not getting everything at once, right? But yeah, in order to exercise, again, don't spoil them. Your kid cried too many times. The kid crying, all right, give him the toy that he wants. Like, go fuck off. Right, go cry. See what happens.
Oh, let him cry.
Let him cry. Like, all right, if you're crying because you're hurt, sure. If you're crying because like, oh, you want this thing that's in my hand, like you want to hold my phone, like no, cry. All right, cry. You'll learn.
Right, they'll get through it.
Right. And I need to learn that, like, at what age, like, you know, if they're 2 months old, how does that impact them? At 2 years old, how does that impact them? And learn that and then kind of curtail it off that. But it's that, like, don't just give in to your kid. Everyone's giving in to the kids now. And all these kids by, like, 10 years old think they're mad entitled. And they think they deserve the fucking world. And it's just like, no. Especially around here, right? Especially in, like, Manhattan. Like, fucking, all these fucking kids walking around in outfits that cost $2,000. They're 12 years old. And they walk around like they're fucking like their shit don't stink. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Right?
Dude, my dad made me buy my first pair of Jordans because he could not fathom that sneakers cost $100.
Yeah.
And then he was upset at me that I would spend $100 on sneakers. Like he was disappointed. But maybe
my dad
there's something to that.
My dad too.
Like,
but it is easier said than done. Like this is you're about to have the kid, right?
Right.
Cut to like a year from now. What's to say you're not going to give in when the kid's crying because you're just tired?
That's the thing, right? And that's what
it takes discipline on the parents' side.
You say, and then when the kid's actually having, you throw them the iPad, right? And there's going to be nights where I'm just going to be like, take the fucking toy, kid, and get the hell away from me, right?
Yo, maybe.
But you got to. That's the thing. You have to practice it in yourself.
But also,
I don't want to get too like philosophical, but maybe like the people that are putting together, you know, organizing religions, if you will, right? Like maybe they're like,
this was a like people learned it. And they did like,
and they gave it to these people. Like,
it's
hey,
okay, that's why that is. All right,
or like,
it's not a coincidence, man.
No, I don't mean that. Like, I mean, like, oh yeah. It's not a coincidence that like literally every religion pretty much has the same ideas, right?
Sure.
Like everyone. So to me, that just says this is what humans are drawn to, and this is what humans might need.
This is the story that we have to be told.
This is the story that we have to be told. Yeah. Now, regardless if you believe in religion as you know the voice of God or not, right? Regardless of that, right? But humans are drawn to these stories. They're drawn to these kind of restrictions in some weird way, right? So like, but maybe the guys just wrote the manual, right? And they're like, hey, why don't you guys do this? You're going to feel good.
Right.
And then people weren't doing it and they were feeling like shit. And they were like, all right, fine, fucking God said it. And then you're like, oh, okay, I'll do it because God said it. You know, maybe you need to hear that in order to get your fucking shit together.
When they were starving in the desert. Like they need a little motivation, right?
So, you're saying you say he took 40 years on purpose?
Yeah, exactly.
They don't appreciate it just yet. Another circle. Run it back.
To bring it full circle, like that's an early form of escapism, right? If you're say you're in the desert and you have the Bible or you have a religious story, you're gonna read that and then find the value out of that and apply it to your own life.
So that's the first oasis.
Maybe that's the first oasis, the Bible. You know, like one of the.
No, but I think that's more serves as more. I think that more serves as motivation to like it's almost like ignorant. But it's giving you a purpose to like do whatever you have to do to continue to survive.
Bro, we all need a little inspo.
You know what I'm saying?
Basic feelings. Like so back in religious
biblical times,
right? There was nothing. All you had is just basic hope,
Right. Maybe you have a few rocks.
Joy. Right. Right.
Yeah. You didn't even have that. You
enough
had
to stone a bitch for dressing the wrong way.
Family hunt, gather, farm.
Right. Like it.
Right.
And it's like
basic life necessities.
As you move into this VR world, like all the feelings go away. Because you're just constantly in your own head. You're now no longer like in your own body.
Yo,
right? So you're just gonna lose all those like those things that religion is based on: hope, fear. They're all gonna go away.
Well, that's the thing about the VR that always is tricky to me. It's like the fear of losing a basketball game. Is that still there?
Yes, it is, because you remember they had the zero out thing, and that was like everyone's biggest fear was like.
But that's almost because they're gambling. That's because they're playing in a competition, right? There's a goal here. Everyone that was playing this thing is like, I'm trying to get rich. No, I think get a $500 billion.
No. It was before that. They were talking about all the things they've accumulated. It wasn't the keys are what got you the $500 million, not all the shit you accumulated.
Yeah, the shit you accumulated is just like
was like your worth.
Years, yeah.
If that's the thing you care most about, like
it's
that's
your creative player.
That's your worst. That's your creative player.
So like imagine your
that's
creative
Dar
player.
being number one in FIFA, right? Like that's like that's what.
And
means
imagine
the most of
if you lost. Imagine you go out and you play FIFA. And sometimes if you lose, you could lose everything your creative player built up.
It's like really like losing your life savings, right? Like, but
so maybe there is a big urgency. There's just a little safety net. You don't die.
Right.
You die because everything you work for is gone, but you don't die. But then my thought was interesting, and they showed it in the fucking movie. They showed the Asian dude about to jump out it's always an Asian guy jumping out the fucking window.
Yeah.
But
in the real world.
In the real world, because he lost everything in the game.
Right.
Yeah. I think the problem too is like the more we are connected, the more the world shrinks, and the more things that you are like see and are exposed to, and I think that typically results in like people's unhappiness. Like they see what so and so is doing on the gram, they're going to whatever, and like even like my own self, right? Like when I grew up, there wasn't a lot going on. Like I grew up in Rhode Island, and like I was happy as fucking shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know nothing. I leave Rhode Island, and then I get experience to everything in New York, and you start to see all these things and experience all these things, and then all of a sudden it's like it takes more. There's more I'm searching for to make me happy, right?
There's like a stimulation threshold.
There's like exactly.
Violence isn't caused by poverty; it's caused by relative poverty.
Yeah,
and that's what you're describing.
Yes.
Happiness is also probably caused by relative lifestyle.
Yes.
Happiness is a mind state.
Of course, exactly, right? So if you're in Rhode Island and you're in a small community and everybody kind of makes the same amount of money and everybody has the same opportunities,
we have a blast.
We're good, right?
Yeah.
Everything's cool, everything's happy. But when you, like you said, when we're all connected on Instagram and you could see how well other motherfuckers doing, it's kind of like how I grew up in the city.
Yeah.
I grew up in the city where. And it's a good thing, a gift and a curse.
Of course.
The motivation is there's always somebody better, more wealthy, more successful. And I'm seeing them every day.
And you're right on top of it.
And I'm right on, it's pushing me. I got to get that.
Well, to me, it felt like a fairy tale.
It was
I didn't
away.
know, you know what I'm saying?
It was a different world, right? Yeah. But to me, so it pushed me. I got this amazing drive, but I also have this thing, which is it's never good enough.
Exactly.
I'm not as good as I need to be. Like, where is the end goal?
Yeah. You're surrounded by other people, them being successful. And
I'm
it's like,
constantly comparing. It's and there's misery with that.
Misery.
Apparently, you're supposed to compare yourself to who you used to be, not to others.
I got that win. I mean, I wasn't beating much. That was the thing.
What do you mean?
I wasn't great. So it's like it was easy to improve upon yourself.
But if you're improving, that's the only thing you're comparing to. And it's like look at who I am and like look who you are as a man now compared to who you used to. And if it's improvement, you can at least go, all right.
Yeah,
I'm in the right way.
You're able to see the improvement through the lens of everybody else's shit. You can't see it because you're just comparing yourself to someone else.
Right.
But my whole thing is, and this goes back to social media and in this game, like it's just a projection. No matter how successful someone is, like what they put out there. Like Dan Bilzerian on Instagram, 23 million followers. He puts his lifestyle out there. Like he's probably got some shit. He's not totally.
He's
you know what I mean? So it's like you just put out that projection of yourself that you want.
He's got to keep it up now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you have to maintain that perception of yourself. It's crazy.
And I bet he probably wasn't miserable before he had 23 million followers. I bet his life was actually dope when he was actually just like having fun when he wanted to have fun.
Yeah.
But now it's a job.
Yeah.
And he's no longer.
Yeah, taking pictures with hookers and guns and shit, right?
And gambling, yeah.
And just gambling. Is that what he does for a living?
Well, he was a SEAL, but
no, he wasn't a SEAL.
No, I think he says he wasn't a SEAL, but he says
no. We got a real Marine right here. He never got through training.
But doesn't he like refer to himself as like an ex-SEAL?
No, in interviews he'll say like, I would have gone through, but I got hurt or something like that, shit like that.
But I'm saying that's part of his perception.
I think he makes money playing like poker.
Right?
That's part of
it's like when Jake. It's like when Jake Cole.
Fucking phony.
It's like when Jake Cole.
Isn't even
it's
a
like
real
when Jake Cole says he almost walked down to St. John's, even though he never went to the tryout. Like. I would have made
Stay
it.
woke.
Yeah. But like that's the same thing with him. He's like, yeah, I like enlisted in the Navy and I was going to be a SEAL, but like then like I had flat feet and like I couldn't do it. Type of thing.
Really?
Yeah, but whatever. He's all right. He seems all right. He's like pretty veteran. So
well, yeah, because he's a liar. He has to be.
Yeah, I don't think he's lying. He's upfront about that. He's just
he is.
But
he does use that as like part of his cachet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because at least Jack he's not correcting people.
He's not correcting people, right?
Oh yeah, Dan Bilzerian, the ex-SEAL. He's like, it's like when in the industry when people think I'm Jewish, I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna touch it, but not gonna correct it either. Hey, Mazel Tov, guys. Whatever you want to say. Get in where you fit in.
Yeah, man. You know what? I think that it is cool because we are headed this way, right? There's things in our real life in contemporary society that are like, we have the technology now, we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
But my worry is like, this is fun. This is like there's video game aspect to it. There's pop culture stuff. What it's gonna be is more like a Black Mirror episode. Okay. It's gonna be some fucking dark shit.
You're on a great point. The dark side of this is altered carbon.
Yes.
And it's a show which we might have watched, et cetera. You didn't watch, and we kind of told you guys to watch, but we didn't do it. And we're gonna have more consistency with this. We'll talk about that at the end of the episode. But it really shows the dark side of VR, which is okay. Fucking girls is whatever. Now I want to choke a girl. Oh, choking girls is whatever. Now I want to kill a girl.
Whoa.
Yeah, well, in Altered Carbon, that's what basically you don't die. Basically, the thing in Altered Carbon is you can put your consciousness on a chip, right? So your consciousness can be transferred. You don't really die unless that chip is broken. So what guys would do is they would fuck girls and then kill them, and then just take the chip out and put it into a new body, and then the hookers were okay with that. But that's how twisted and fucked up the human mind is. This is the best case.
This is the best case. This is fun, playful. You're doing.
Yeah, it's video
like
games.
Look at Westworld, right? What is Westworld? What is the actual Westworld? You're paying to have an escapist experience where you can kill, you can have sex, you can do whatever you want, and there's no real repercussions in real life.
Haney likes to call that Costa Rica.
I never went to Costa Rica.
And he's safe. But yeah, there's a very dark side to this, which the movie didn't shed light on, and I'm glad it did.
Great.
No, you know what? And that's part of why. That's why it was refreshing.
This whole podcast just took a turn for that I was not comfortable or prepared with. I mean, this is a light movie. If you want to go there and just enjoy it,
it's a ride.
Yo, but I think part of me why I enjoyed it is because the subject matter kind of goes dark.
Yeah, we get it. Phantom Thread. We understand. Yeah.
What's a Phantom Thread? What's that?
They like all these. What was that movie that you guys saw? Did you see this movie?
Isle of Dogs.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
no, the other one you said in the car.
Dude,
Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl?
Yeah, me, Earl.
Hold on. Can we acknowledge earlier what happened when Jack was trying to go to the iPic on the group chat? I just want to share it with all of our followers. So Jack is trying to go to the iPic. Yeah. I'm not going to say nothing crazy, fam. What are you talking about? Like you got your dick sucked in the iPic.
And he started sending us selfies of his outfit. Oh, you want us to leave that part out?
No, by the way, as someone who had an experience iPic after getting the glowing recommendations from these people on the podcast, amazing.
Jack almost fucked it up, though. I
almost fucked it up because you said pod. I'm looking for pod in the ticket experience.
You almost sat in the beach chairs up front.
So there was beach chairs. There was fucking two lawn chairs. They didn't even have waiter service up front. Jack's sending us pictures of the website, and Marco and I are confused. Haney just tapped out of the whole conversation.
We take it to like a hotel in Pensacola.
And then we get in there and we're like, what are those?
No, before that, we go, what movie are you going to see? And then you're like, Isle of Dogs. And it was like, oh yeah, that's the shitty I picked. They're not even going to have fucking service in that one. Get the hell out of here. You got to go to a real movie.
Nah, the rest of you're like, hey, where do I sit? And Marco goes, Premium Plus. Yeah. Duh.
Offended, dude. Like, how many times have we told you, Jack?
Yeah, I was looking for pods. They didn't say anything about pods until I got there. And I was
maybe that's a term that I coined. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you're in there, what would you describe
pod.
it? That's
a pod, right?
Right? And it was good?
Amazing.
It was almost like the chair he had in Ready Player One. What's his name?
The what? Oh yeah,
it was like the pod. With
the bad guy in Ready Player One.
Ben Mendelsohn.
Noah, right? Did I make that up?
Nelson.
Yeah.
Nelson, right?
Nelson Sorrento.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like a pod. His gaming.
Dude, anyway,
of course he's Italian.
In the movie, you know what I thought was really cool? So like, just the execution that Spielberg had was so fucking dope. Like,
they're the best.
So like, they'd be in it, right? And then like, so if I'm in the world and I see you, you can create like a little cube to almost have like a private chat, right? Like, you remember when like she went up at him, she had like the fake costume on that like had the thing come out of the chest to scare him.
That thing was.
They were in like a private room that no one could see.
Mortal Kombat.
They were in like a private room that no one could see. It's like the equivalent of like a direct message. Right?
I think she actually pulled him into a legit room. Yeah. She didn't create that room. That was a broom closet.
What he's talking about, it's the same thing when he went under the racetrack and everything turned green. It's like you're seeing the code of the. That's what you're talking about, right? When everything was outlined in green and they were in that private room.
I'm talking about when it was.
Nah, y'all made it up.
And what was
That's why you guys didn't like the movie, because you didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Yo, definitely know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, y'all know. We were plugged in, bro. What's up?
No,
that's a broom closet. They got those in. You don't think they got brooms in VR?
That was not an actual room.
That was a broom closet.
Felt like a broom closet.
Yeah.
No, I'm with Haney. I think it was some.
I think it was like a private.
Y'all were going too crazy.
I think it was like a direct message.
Huh?
I think it was like a direct message.
You see how sophisticated they are? Well, maybe there's mopping equipment that they would have to use for the library. Probably put it in there.
No, I think they went to like a private chat room.
Yeah, there were no mops in there.
No, dude, you guys are too smart. You're thinking too smart about it. Just dial it back a little.
Dial it back. All right.
Did you really want a secret private chat room?
No, I just thought the way he portrayed that was dope.
Well, so
yeah, all right.
If you look at Spielberg, right, he's like the godfather of contemporary pop culture, especially in movies. He's the perfect guy to put this all shit together. Half the shit in this is movies that he's directed anyway.
Yeah. So that's what I was worrying.
Jurassic Park, fucking.
How much money, does it cost to get the
Imagine the legal team for. I didn't look what studio had made this. Fuck, I should look it up. But imagine the legal team for the studio that has to clear the rights to all actors. They're from all over the place.
Explain that to people that are listening.
So
every time you use an image,
well, the studios have ultimate
say so
and ownership of a character's likeness. So like the DeLorean is technically that's a character. That's a thing that someone owns, right? The rights to. And that's why like what happens is you can lose those rights if you don't use them after a set amount of time, like 10 years, you can actually, the rights go out.
They become
and that's why you see a lot of reboots, because they'll lose the rights to those movies, so they just keep putting them out until something catches and they can keep them. But for this, it's all over the place. Like if you, when this comes out on DVD, it'd be cool to pause it and look at like that war scene. Look at how many characters. I saw a Ninja Turtle for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, I saw that too. And I was wondering if it wasn't, I wonder if there's a time constraint.
Probably. It's like sampling, right? In music, like you don't have to get clearance
under a certain amount of seconds.
Right. If it's like 2 seconds, then you don't have to get clearance or whatever. But
that Thundercat scene?
Yeah.
It was Thundercat, right?
Which
the fought the Godzilla.
Gundam. That's Gundam.
Gundam.
Yeah, that wasn't Thundercat.
Gundam Wing.
Oh, I thought that was Thundercat. It should have been Thundercat.
No, Gundam. I mean, I liked Gundam.
What's Gundam?
Gundam is a Japanese anime, but
I think it should have been Voltron.
Yeah, isn't that
very
Thundercat?
similar? No, very similar to Voltron.
Yeah,
but
isn't Voltron Thundercat?
No, Thundercats are Thundercats.
Hold on.
Thundercats are Thundercats.
Yeah, man.
Thundercats are the ones
Sword of Omens.
Yeah, and they're all little tigers, and then they form Voltron.
They got gray hair.
No, bro, you took Voltron.
Yeah.
No, they're actual tigers in Thundercats.
Yeah.
Like they're big cats.
Yeah.
They're got fur. They're cats.
There's a show about cats?
Yeah.
What the fuck is there a show about
in the
cats
80s. The Sword of Omens.
If they gave him a sword,
the
then
logo
cool.
is like a
Hold on.
Lion-O. Dude, so speaking of like,
pull up Thundercat.
Pull up Thundercat.
Speaking of Thundercats.
Hold on, I know Thundercats.
Yeah.
I had little figurines. One of them, the head flipped into the
It
body.
had the blue. We had like the Carolina blue.
Yes, that was the one I had.
That's Voltron.
No, one of the ones went from.
There was no mech
form.
in Thundercat. There was no mech.
flesh and blood.
That's
and there was
Thundercat.
one shorty that was
Lion-O.
fine.
Why Lion-O looking?
Chitara.
Chitara was
Thundercats
fine,
right there.
but you're saying they don't make a fucking big bot?
No.
That is.
Why would
Voltron.
flesh and blood cats form a giant
Maybe they
metal-
go into cat
cat on cat.
cat on cat.
Yeah,
Maybe they go into cat machines. That's Thundercats.
Voltron.
But they're
No, that's
people.
Voltron, dude.
Voltron.
Look at the search.
Hold on. Can you break down Voltron into what is it when you break it down? Cats.
He's into cats. Mechanical cats.
That's what I'm talking. I'm wrong. Look, fam.
They're mechanical cats.
Hold on.
Alex, click that.
Hold on, right here. Click this one right here. Hold on. No. We're going to stop it right now. I'm right or wrong. It's cats that make Voltron.
You're wrong.
But you're wrong because you're right about
So
that.
you're telling me there was 2 cat shows. One was regular cats and the other was robot cats.
You just saw the.
Yes.
How obsessed with cats were we in the fucking 90s that we had 2 cat shows, one electronic and one natural flesh and blood?
I don't know. We had more cat show than dog shows, which is weird to me.
There was no Thunder Dog.
There was no the dog. No,
There was no Thunder Dog. So hold on.
there was underdog.
So you're telling me the Thundercats didn't go in there?
No.
My whole childhood, I thought
real
the
people
Thundercats-
went in there.
What?
No, these people, look.
They're-
These are the
I
people
mean,
that
whatever
went in.
they are, they're close. They're humanoids.
Son, this is blowing my mind. My whole time I thought, because think about it logically, right? If you were a cat, right? What would you make your cat robot look like? Probably a cat.
You're the fastest thing.
I'm just
If
saying,
you're gonna do it.
you would do it a cat, and then that would turn into, I don't know why the 4 cats turn into a human being. You would think the 4 cats would turn into a
I
bigger
just think
cat.
it would have
but
been.
whatever.
I just think it
Right?
would.
It's weird that, like, I don't think the cats would have the awareness to go, I want to be a different species when we combine together. I would probably want to be a bigger cat.
I just think it would have been dope if he came out and he did the whole thing with the sword and he did the Voltron thing.
So you just are pissed off that it wasn't. See, here's the thing.
I wanted Voltron too. I
Yeah.
just thought
because
it was
you had that
Thundercats.
relationship to Voltron the way some people had with Gundam.
Yeah, but those people that had it with Gundam can go fuck themselves.
Yeah, I don't know.
Here's the thing.
Who had it
Frankly,
with
who the
Gundam?
fuck
This
is
is
after
what I'm
this?
talking about though. Like if
We
I
get you're going after the Asian market. We would like Voltron,
They're
please.
off-brand.
Yeah.
if I read the book, like what's to say in the book it's Voltron and not Gun? You know, it's
Well,
the
then
other way
Spielberg
around.
fucked up.
Yo, then I need
That's
to
like-
have
but
a
that's
talk
That's a
with
clearance
my boy
thing, right? So
Spiels.
what if the legal team goes, hey, Mr. Spielberg, listen, we couldn't get Voltron, but we got Gundam, right? And so it's like figuring out all the. So
Okay, so
who
here's
knows?
my question, Jack. Do they get clearance before they even go into writing this script?
Well, I'm assuming the book has a lot of the same reference shit that happens in here, so they knew the subject matter. They knew. I'm sure there was a whole.
There's no way you would make a film and then afterwards go
No.
ask him permission, right? You have to do it before.
No, they do it before, yeah.
So they knew going in what's going to be there, and then that potentially could have happened with Gundam and Voltron.
Or any of the characters.
Because
Yeah.
if they did it first, everyone could have got together.
No,
and
I'm
like,
sure
let's
they-
hold
I'm
out
trying to
for
Yeah,
a
we're
first.
going to hold
You
out.
know?
We're going to Jersey Shore it.
In the script, it could have been Voltron, and then as it got time to shooting it, they're like, by the way, listen, we couldn't get Voltron.
Yeah,
It's
that's
gonna
what
be
Jack was
Gundam."
saying.
No, I'm saying all this shit was cleared up. I mean, a lot of these characters. I mean, the main characters are original characters, right? Like this dude doesn't exist. I don't know him from anything. The T.J. Miller character. He's
Yeah.
just like
That was like his avatar. It was like kind of
Right,
like
right.
whatever.
So the avatars or whatever, but like the Iron Giant was like a pretty key plot point. So they
Sure.
needed to have Iron Giant. I wonder if he was in the book. You know, I don't know. Now I kind of want to read the book just to see what.
How different it is.
Yeah.
Dude, it was good. And you know what's a shame? I mean, the theater was fucking packed, but
Yeah.
it came out this weekend or last.
Last weekend.
So,
Dude, it's
what's
doing
up?
well. They're doing
What-
numbers.
oh yeah, don't tap
I
the
didn't
mic
tap
anymore.
shit.
Get your
Why
fucking
do you
hands
have
off
to
the
hold
mic.
it?
Just
That
get
might
your
have been
hands
me.
off the
That
mic.
Yo, it was you.
Okay.
Because on
you don't even know for sure.
Because on-
He just threw you under
He
the
has no
bus so
idea.
Hey,
fast.
the YouTube, yeah, the YouTube, it's too far from your face and like it doesn't sound right. So I'm trying
To come close.
to do for the fans, man.
You know, you could
Whatever.
you could bend it. It's one of those mics that does that.
I'm fine right here.
All right,
All
we're
right,
good.
so fuck y'all.
No, right. So, what I'm upset about this movie.
Go back to your plot point, please.
What I'm upset about this, he's trying so hard. That's the thing. He's really trying so hard, and he thought he had it. Finally,
Did you just say you're upset because there's no chance for a sequel?
no, I didn't even think about that. That depresses
Ready
me.
Player 2.
Ready Player 2.
That was bad. I'm sorry. That was bad.
I mean, that's what you would call it.
Yeah, I know. That was a bad joke.
And you don't think that they would? You don't think that they would make another one?
I think it's Ready Player Done. That's what I think.
Yeah, I don't think they'd make
What?
another one.
Ready Player Done. I was trying to make a pun.
Yeah, we both
I
missed.
caught it, Jack. I thought it was good.
Thanks, man.
I caught it.
Anyway,
Anyone else?
That's
Anyone
what-
give a stab? You want to give a stab for the
nothing.
sequel?
Nope.
Come on, give a stab, bro.
Nope.
Nothing?
Nope.
Yo,
Okay.
so there shouldn't be another one. This was like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. You guys won. Let's go. Keep moving. They
But it
did
was
something
so
great.
good, and the world was so fun.
I don't want to go back to like they take over the world and then the guy gets out of jail and he comes up. I don't need to see that shit. I'm good. They did it. America will be saved. The world will be saved. Like it's Columbus, Ohio specifically.
Yeah, Columbus is popping. I mean, I'm really bummed I'm really bummed that the trailer, and I don't even know how you show a trailer that does it justice, but I'm just bummed that I had no interest to see this movie. I honestly just picked, I was like, people have been asking me for a Westerbros for a while. They're like, what's up with Westerbros? At my shows, they're like, yo, what's the next Westerbros? And I was like, we got to do one. I don't know if it was you that suggested it or maybe it was Haney that suggested
we talked about it on a previous podcast.
But I had no interest in this movie.
Right, but that's because they really banked on the huge fan base of the books. And also, the trailer is literally just a Spielberg score from...
it was great.
One of the big movies,
we were
Indiana
loving
Jones
the
or
music.
something, and it was the score
the music
and just pop culture reference, So like all the little freeze frames of like Chucky and all that shit. That was the whole trailer, and then people were like, "Oh, what is this?"
But that didn't work for that Adam Sandler movie. Remember that Adam Sandler movie where all the video games came?
Oh, Pixels, yeah.
That bombed.
Yeah.
Never even heard.
That didn't work because that was like the other end of it, where it was just lazy fucking.
They were just banking off these characters. So one thing about this movie is none of the characters in this movie, like the fucking Iron Giant, they could have been all made up by Spielberg or the writer, and it would have been just as interesting.
Yeah.
You didn't need there to be Chucky.
I didn't catch half the shit that you guys said.
I think
I did.
I didn't catch the Thundercat. I didn't catch the or Voltron, whatever one it was.
Yeah.
Or I didn't catch the Ninja Turtle.
But
I didn't catch.
You didn't see the Ninja?
I did not see the.
It was
I did
brief.
not see the
All
Ninja
I'm saying for the
there's
people,
a lot of stuff that I didn't catch, and it was
lost.
still dope.
Yeah,
you thought it needed those things? I thought they were icing on the cake.
Yeah, icing on the cake is a better way to put it.
I think it needed it because I think again, everybody had their own thing that they could relate to. Like everybody has a different favorite character, everybody has a different favorite movie, and you could find that.
Right.
You know?
But you loved that it was the DeLorean.
If it was just a bunch of made up shit, maybe that's not.
It's cool.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. If he was driving a Chevette, you would just been fine with it.
But here's the thing: if it's a bunch of like made up CG characters, right? Like
it's icing on the cake. If he had like a dope ass car, as long as it's not like Too Fast, Too Furious, the Bow Wow one.
if it's a bunch of made up characters, CG characters, like when you first see Parsifal, you're like, oh, he looks weird. Like, is he going to be the guy, the main character? I don't. Yeah. And then you see a character that you know, from a video game or a movie or whatever. And you're like, oh, okay. Like, I don't know. I feel like it brought everything together.
It did for me.
Yeah. Shouts to the little Asian kid. He killed it.
Yeah.
He had 4 lines in the movie. I don't know.
Just to hit him.
The 11-year-old? And smashed it out the park. Yeah.
Low?
Yo, that's my new thing, bro. When girls try to cuddle, I'm be like, yo, ninjas don't cuddle. Yo, when he put his hand on her shoulder, ninjas don't hug.
We just don't hug, yeah.
No, ninjas don't hug.
Yeah, that's
no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what you can do with cuddle?
Hell yeah. Ninjas don't cuddle.
Be careful.
Ninjas do not cuddle, bro. Nah, he was just a beast. Anything else before we talk about how triggered I was by the previews?
Go for it.
Go ahead.
Previews that we saw before this?
Oh my God,
bro. What was the preview?
The sailing one?
Oh, just all of them.
All I saw, I walked in late. I saw the
every movie is like fucking.
We saw the trailer for the $1 Million Mustache.
The fuck is that?
Mission Impossible.
Oh no, that was Saving Grace.
Yo, man, Tom Cruise guys really stopped climbing on these like mountains. Like he's like 50-some years old.
He looks great.
He
looks great.
He got seriously injured.
He looks great. Come on, you're 50-some. You can't be climbing on a fucking mountain.
He can do whatever he wants.
Nah, come on.
He's looking at you like you ain't shit.
And he's right. And he's right. But guess what? He shouldn't be climbing on a fucking mountain.
I disagree. I'm with Tom Cruise.
You done with it?
No, it's just like, come on, man. Like, yo, just you lived it, man. You won. You really had a great life. Go be a regular actor now. Like, go be a 50s, like Tom Hanks.
Maybe that's...
Tom Hanks does one movie a year, and he plays this older guy, and he kills the role. Yo, Cruise, just... You don't need to be doing these action movies.
You don't have that gear, bro.
You don't need to do these action movies.
Hang on.
Don't have it.
Maybe that's his escapism. Maybe he can't get the same rush that he gets in real life, so he has to go do these Mission Impossible movies.
Scientology's had virtual reality for 30 years, man. Cruise has been living that fucking life.
It's Brett Favre. It's the quarterback who hangs on for 3 seasons too long. These guys not wired that way. Tom Cruise is not wired to be like, I can't do this.
He got seriously injured.
He's doing backflips off airplanes. He's gonna
he busted up his ankle.
I don't want to live in a world where he's just in a wheelchair. Like,
just be a lawyer.
Why?
Just be like a fireman.
Son, no. Even in the movie where he was supposed to be normal, he still got to throw the bottles in the air. He needs something.
Cocktail?
Yeah, like he needs some. Son, what's the other movie where he needs some danger? What's the movie
Top
where
Gun?
Nah, well, that's tons of danger. What's the movie where he slid on the floor in his socks?
Risky business.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like,
yo,
it was too
dangerous.
Regular. Son, slid with the socks.
You've been on hardwoods and socks.
That's game over. That's concussion.
That's transition. Protocol.
Transition.
Bye.
Transition.
Nah, dude. Hey, listen. This is a little bit. We don't have to trash the previews. I was annoyed. I was annoyed because it's like, but whatever. I don't even want to get into it. It's not the opportunity cost.
You can't do it this weekend. It's nice for what weekend? Drake has us celebrating women. You can't. You don't want to do it this weekend.
There's Nick Cage.
Oh man, keep going.
Yeah. I think Nicolas Cage is one of the greatest American actors alive. One of the greatest American actors in history.
Got hits.
Fucking massive hits. He got the Oscar. Mm-hmm. And then he said, fuck it, I'm going to cash in on these silly action movies. The action movies are trash, but he is so good.
Other than The Rock.
Oh, no, The Rock was incredible. Right. It was incredible. But I watched National Treasure. First of all, National Treasure 1, great movie.
Not terrible.
Great movie. I watched National Treasure 2. This movie's so bad, but he is so good. He grounds this goofy-ass fucking movie. I mean, he's charismatic. He has the worst teeth and worst hair you've ever seen on a major motion picture actor, and he still manages to fucking deliver. I think he's a gem. I think he's a national treasure, and I don't think that we give him enough credit.
Where's this? What was this? Is this was there a Nick Cage? Was there a Nick Cage preview?
I was alone in a hotel room. I was in Toledo, and it was lonely.
Oh man,
I needed my oasis, and Nick Cage was it. He was my oasis. He was my fucking oasis. He was so charming.
So here's the thing: Nick Cage is a great actor. Have you ever seen Adaptation? He plays two brothers. It's a long, complicated story. You got to see a great movie. One of my all-time favorites. But he was nominated for the Oscar with that. Meryl Streep's in it. He plays two characters in the movie. Raising Arizona, fucking great. Like he has the ability to do it, right?
Face Off,
but then
killed it.
Face Off, right?
Killed it.
He had to act like John
Vegas.
But somewhere along the way, he became like a caricature of himself.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever seen the YouTube video? It's just a compilation of Nick Cage freaking out, and it's fucking amazing.
Have you ever seen this?
Dude, it is.
How long is it?
It's long.
Like 15 minutes.
I'm not watching all the time because it will hurt my feeling.
But he's so interesting to me because, like, it seems like now he's just intentionally picking the worst movies.
Yeah.
And doing the craziest shit.
Why did he come up? What's the time?
Because Schulz had an experience.
Son.
Schulz had a revelation that Nick Cage got bangers.
Yeah, but that's not new.
Oh, and the score.
No, not that he has bangers. I saw him in a horrible movie, and I thought he was so fucking talented.
Yo, this is one of my all-time favorite YouTube videos ever.
No, that's not right.
All real. These are all real fucking Nick Cage roles.
Amazing. All right.
That's not fair, yo.
That's a sneak peek. Anyone who hasn't seen that, Google. What is the name of the video?
Nick Cage Freak Out.
Nick Cage Freak Out montage.
This is not fair because you could take anything from a great actor. You could take Daniel Day-Lewis who's acting retarded in a bunch of different scenes and cut it together.
Not the way. That's an art form right there. He's turning.
There's a lot of like just his face is amazing. Like, there's a lot of like different compilations of Nick Cage's face.
He's a weird looking.
Like
dude.
you ever see like where like they put Nick Cage's face on like different like rap albums?
No.
It's fucking fantastic. You know, like it's
you ever
just
seen
fucking
Matchstick
fantastic.
Men? Yeah, Matchstick Men, great movie.
Great movie.
Check it out.
Nick Cage, a fucking legend.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, guys? Westerbros, we back.
Hold on, I want to have an intervention.
Yes, please.
Right.
With
you.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Oh, shit.
What happened? What'd I do?
Son, what's your beef with Atlanta, man?
Oh my Lord!
What's your
really
beef with
for a
Atlanta?
second.
The show, not the state.
Okay.
Yo, what if this actually turned into like a serious?
I thought I thought it was. We need to move the ball on offense. I was like, are we doing this now on the fucking podcast? I get it, guys.
Alex, put up the tape, please.
Pixelot. It's Pixelot. Okay.
What's your beef with Atlanta, man?
Okay, no beef with Atlanta. Okay, so you love Atlanta.
You love Atlanta. You love Atlanta.
Everybody here loves Atlanta. I watched a couple episodes with it of myself. Right. Then I watched one with you.
Yep.
Which one did you watch?
I made him watch like the public access one.
Oh yeah, the Black Charlie one.
The best one.
So here's my take on Atlanta. I think it's maybe the best cast show I've seen on television.
Great casting.
Great casting.
Like that guy who plays like the kind of out there
Darius.
Yeah. Darius.
He's genius, dude. Like,
yeah, he's blowing up. Lakeith Stanfield.
Yeah,
Did you see the trailer for his new movie, like Sorry to Bother You or something like that? You saw that trailer?
Yeah.
I would watch anything he's in.
I mean, like him, like just as someone who's like done some acting, like I always think about what I can do in a scene that's not on the paper, right? Like the choices and shit. And like there's one scene in Atlanta where he's at a diner. It's like, what are you doing that's good at the diner? And he started stacking salts.
Yeah.
And not up like this. They were on their side. I didn't even know you could stack salts like that.
Right.
But the whole scene, I'm transfixed on him. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, like, and it's just little tiny fucking shit.
I heard an interview with him where he was doing a scene from the new season, and he's having a dialogue with Donald Glover, and he's sitting on top of a car, right? So like, they shot it, they're looking down, and Lakeith Stanfield said, "We showed up to rehearse it, and I just decided that my character would sit on top of the car."
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, let's do it. like he has that mindset, which is awesome. Dude. I think they all bring a lot to the table, but
they're good, man.
Yeah. So you guys haven't seen the newest episode?
The last episode,
I heard,
which was episode 5.
All right, so Atlanta,
we're not giving any spoilers away, by the way.
Now like we're kind of halfway through the second season. You kind of pick it up, right? Like you kind of pick up like but you also the rhythm, right? So seasons start out, you see the whole group, you see high level storylines of everyone, where everyone's at, right? Then as the season gets into the middle, every character gets their own episode, right? Whether the episode actually means anything or not, doesn't matter, right? So you guys saw last week with the barber?
The best.
Right? So just a summary, like the rapper Paperboy, right? He goes to his barber to get a haircut. He's got a photo shoot. And the whole episode is him and the barber's being like, hey, man, you got to come with me real quick. I got to go do this thing.
Or like 5 minutes. Someone comes, like anybody who's ever been to a barbershop like has had that feeling when you finally get down in the chair. and then all of a sudden he goes like, oh, yeah, I'm going to go get some food. Like, you're like, oh, okay. And all of a sudden 45 minutes later he comes back and smells like weed. And like,
But it's an exaggeration of that where he got him running all over. And it's fucking hilarious. Yeah. Like really, no pushing of the storyline forward. Sure. Nothing. Great. So this week was the Lakeith Stanfield episode.
Oh, see, I want to see it.
And this is one of the weirdest motherfucking things I've seen. The first 20 minutes, I'm like, my wife, she was like kind of in the room, like not really watching it. She just goes, yo, like, I feel uncomfortable. Can you turn this off? And I'm just like, yo, no, leave the room. This is fucking amazing. Like, he's acting his ass off in the most weird situation. You're just like, yo, how the fuck did they write this shit? Like, how did they even come up with this? Like, this is what we want to do.
Yo, but did it hit?
It's amazing.
Okay.
What is it? What's happening?
No, you don't talk about it.
Yeah, you don't want to ruin it. You got to see it. But
it's creepy.
I've heard about it.
Like, it's not funny. It's creepy. It's amazing.
It involves Donald Glover and Whiteface.
In Whiteface?
Yeah.
I didn't know, but like, you didn't know it was Donald Glover. He said it was Donald Glover. I still don't believe it was Donald Glover. If that was Donald Glover, that was fucking amazing.
So here's
fucking amazing.
Here's my thing with Atlanta. I don't knock the show at all. I thought it was really good. When the episode I watched with you, what was I saying the whole time?
You were like, wow, I can't believe that he's doing, like, you were just shocked that he's kind of breaking like the mold of
like, I thought it was brilliant. And I have even more respect for Glover. I used to respect Glover's work ethic.
Man.
And now I have a lot of respect for his just creativity and talent. That being said, for me, a show needs to get its hooks in me. And I just didn't care enough in season 1 whether he shot the guy or not. And I think that's what comes down to that show.
That's not even a thing. So
here's the thing. Yo, let me make a point. They put that in the pilot to help sell the show.
Literally, FX.
No, I know that. But what I'm saying is, like, in order to be involved in the show and want to keep watching, I think in the beginning, you have to care about, A, if Donald Glover is going to be able to, like, make it out of his shitty situation, and 2, find out what happened with the shooting. And I didn't care enough. That's just me.
So here's the thing.
The show is really good. I acknowledge the show is really good.
So Donald Glover has an interesting interview that came out when they're promoting season 2, and he basically talks about how
that New Yorker one.
He talks about. I think it was in that one. He talks about how to John Landgraf, the head of FX, how he pitched the show and sold it based off of the premise that it was going to be a show more like, I want to say, like an Entourage, or like one of those shows
Entourage
where you get like
a rapper.
The industry side, where it's like a manager and he hops on this hot rapper and it's about the career. Yeah, and he's like, what we did, Donald Glover said this, he's like, what we did was we pulled the Trojan horse. We got into the room and then we got our weird shit. Now we can do whatever we want because we established ourselves. So really what it is, and like people refer to it as like the Black Twin Peaks because it's just like really surreal and out there, and every episode you don't know where you're going to get.
Yeah.
That's what I love about it. I actually don't think you have to watch it in any specific order.
You could
just watch any episode, and it's like each thing is a short film. But I think for you would prefer to have.
I like that.
You need to be guided.
Look forward to something,
and that's great. I love like proper storytelling, but I also like that a show like this exists. You know?
Yeah. Like at this point, halfway through the second season, like I no longer. Like that's not even like when I go into an episode, I'm no longer like I wonder what's going to happen in his career today. I wonder if he's going to have his big break today.
Yeah,
I'm just like, yo, what do you guys got for me this week?
Right.
What could it be?
And it could be something simple and dumb, or it could be something
profound,
as fucking weird as what Thursday episode was.
So much of watching anything is about expectation. Like my expectations for this movie were so low. And you know, Ready Player One, and I was fucking blown away. Right. And I think with Atlanta, maybe my expectations were too high.
Because everyone told you how great it was.
Right. And maybe I was expecting this, like, you know, the dream had always been, you know, for me at least, like, how do I create drama stakes with a comedy, like a comedy? Yeah. Like, how do I fucking mix those worlds? Like, what a cool show that would be, you know? And when I saw the first episode, I was like, oh, maybe that's this. There's like a murder. Oh fuck, did they do it? Did they figure it out? And then I think the second one kind of went off, and then you showed me one that was...
It never goes back.
So my expectation was different.
It's also, it's kind of genre... It's not a specific. It's not like a half-hour comedy specifically because you're not laughing that much. Like you'll have like a big laugh in one of those episodes, but like for the most part, it's still a half-hour comedy, but it's totally different than the way you would normally watch a half-hour comedy or a sitcom. You know?
Yeah.
I've heard like the Black Twin Peaks thing a lot.
Yeah.
I've also heard Black Curb. I think it's
Black Curb.
I think it's kind of like Black Seinfeld, Black Dark Seinfeld, because it's Seinfeld always like kind of felt good, whatever, right? But Glover is Jerry. Lakeith Stanfield is Kramer.
Interesting.
Paperboy is George.
Yeah.
Zazie Beetz.
See, I disagree with that.
Where it's just like nothing. Like every episode is just. It's just they kind of hop on one story for one episode, and they just go with it.
Right, and then it kind of resets, and then
it resets, and then it goes over again, and there's kind of like underlying storylines going on throughout, but it's just dark and nothing, not in terms of science, but it's like just how it's kind of just like this is what we're gonna do. That's when you think about it, that's what Seinfeld was like. Hey, we're gonna walk around a parking garage this whole episode,
right?
And have show about episode. That this show is about fucking nothing,
right?
The guy's really getting driven around by his fucking barber the whole episode, and it's fucking great.
Yeah.
And it's fucking great.
I wouldn't say this story's about nothing though. I think like Irv is like a really flawed guy.
No. There's so much more in. There's so much more in that they're digging in.
Right. I mean, when you say a show about nothing, it's really about everything. But it's just saying like, you know,
sure. But I think
it's not what he wants. It's not like, what are they going to solve the murder mystery this week?
Yeah.
Right.
Are him and his girlfriend going to have the big resolution this week?
Are they going to get that deal? Or are they going to sign it? Is he going to come out with that album? No one cares about that.
I might not have like a very sophisticated, palate for show watching. I might be the guy who needs a little carrot, in front of him.
See, I'm normally that guy. They forced me to watch it, and for whatever reason, I remember watching the first 2 episodes and thinking like, I don't know what this is, but like I'm really enjoying it.
I remember,
and then I saw the fucking
the PBS shit,
and that was the funniest thing I saw in 2017.
Also, the charity basketball game episode is great too.
They have a thing. Black Justin Bieber, like there's a guy who's a pop star, and the name is Justin Bieber,
and you don't get
the black guy.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense
for no and you're
it's
just like,
so good. It's so good.
Is he supposed to be Bieber? And then he's supposed to be Bieber.
If I'm
at
your crib and we're hanging out and it's on, I'm not gonna not watch it.
Sure,
I'm not gonna turn it off.
I
just don't have like the desire, man. Like, and it's not like I didn't give it 3 eps. I gave it 3 eps.
You gave it 3 eps.
It should hook me.
That's why I'm shocked. Like you just weren't like.
I think what he's saying though about the hype is true sometimes with shows where you just hear so much good shit.
Yeah,
like you had. No,
dude, I thought this was gonna suck.
So you weren't looking forward to coming and watching it?
No, not that I wasn't. I was like half. I was like half, but it was one of those things where it was okay. It's Spielberg. It was not gonna be bad, and I wanted to do a Westerbros. Like I wanted to chop it up with you guys again. Like I miss doing them, and I wanted to get back into the flow of it. And it was like, all right, this will probably be fun. And then just to get blown out of my socks in the first fucking few minutes. I couldn't believe it. I turned to you and I go, I was like, is this CGI?
No, he goes, no. This is what you did. You just turn and you go, yo, what is this? That's what you said. And I was like, what do you mean? I was like,
like I didn't know if it was actors. Did they put that shit on afterwards?
Same technology as Avatar, but more advanced now. That's why this actually would have been a cool movie in 3D, I feel like, because there's so much shit fucking flying at you.
Oh, there was an option.
Yeah, no, I mean, in general,
I actually generally hate 3D movies,
unless the plot is like conceived with 3D in mind, like Gravity or Life of Pi.
So, fellas, why don't we tell everybody what we're going to be doing in the future? Because we got some things coming up, right?
So we got
What day is Westworld?
Westworld premieres April 22nd, 2 weeks.
Do you know your tour schedule?
Yes.
You kind of are starting to hit like every other week. Well, you're around Sundays every other week.
I'm a lot. So
we can start kind of hitting Westworld on like a weekly or bi-weekly basis.
April 22nd, right? Mm-hmm. So April 22nd is Westworld. Boom. We're
all going the following weekend.
We'll actually all be in Texas.
Yes.
Not that anyone needs to know that. But.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You're going to be in Texas?
Yeah.
When?
The night that you're doing the show in Houston.
You guys are going to be there?
We're going to be a half hour south at a wedding.
Pull up.
We're at a wedding.
Pull up.
Yeah.
You pull up to the wedding.
You pull up to the
wedding.
wedding.
The wedding's at night too?
The wedding starts at 6
p.m. I haven't even
6 p.m.
opened up the invitation.
Hold on.
I just gave someone a verbal confirmation.
What you're saying is we could potentially film a Westerbros in
No, there's no shot.
There's no
shot.
I won't be there.
We're
drunk.
groomsmen in a wedding.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
So what we should do is, and then, this is contingent on Alex, but we should do is, when are you back? You're back that Monday?
Monday.
So maybe what we do is Monday night, we do Flagrant 2, but maybe right after Flagrant 2, we do an episode of this and we can drop it that same week. Because we want to be consistent with Westerbros.
I think Westworld is a great opportunity to go back to the model that we kind of started, but it was too late with Game of Thrones, where it's one of the last shows that really has a lot of theories and discussion between episodes.
Yeah.
Because it's not bingeable. So, and I personally have a lot. I love Westworld. I have a lot to say about it, a lot to talk about. So I think
So we got to really try to getting it in one night, like during Westworld season. Like, let's get in here one night a week.
Yeah, I think we can keep the same thing. But here's the question: do we do it Sunday right after we see it?
When we can, what do you think? Or do you want time to kind of digest it?
I liked what we did very briefly.
I'd like to watch it together to cut down on transit time on Sunday nights. I don't want to,
Can we do it on an HBO Go?
Yeah, you can watch on HBO Go. It starts it's up right when it starts.
Alex, what do you think about that? Yeah?
Wait, what do you mean?
I'm saying we're going to watch it. You guys it's going to end at 10 o'clock.
By my crib and watch it on Sunday nights. And
all I said was central location. Could be your crib. I don't know.
We can come by one. Yeah. Not your crib because that would be
not good. Yeah.
We can record where? Yeah, but isn't it easier doing all the cuts and everything?
No. We'll come here. We'll watch it and then all come down together. But if you want to watch it at my crib or Andrew's crib, we could do that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. More than welcome. Yeah. All right, let's do it. So we'll do it every week.
Yeah, I think it's a good opportunity to try that again.
What happened?
Whatever, man.
It's killing me. So all right, so we'll do that every week. We got Westerbros, and then after that we should have what's it called coming back?
We got to do Infinity War, which is coming out.
That's not even a question.
I mean, I am so fucking excited for that movie.
Yo, can someone buy tickets in advance? Can someone set this
First
up?
of all, it's not even a question whether or not we're doing iPick with Infinity War.
That's what I'm saying. Can someone?
It's not even a question.
We need
iPick.
Son,
going all out.
We also got Venom, the Tom Hardy joint coming out.
Absolutely.
Fuck that.
Whoa!
I think the trailer looks like trash. I was so pumped for a Venom movie.
English beef right there. Jack was born in England, bro.
Yeah.
You don't like English guys.
I thought it looked so bad, man. And they didn't even. Whatever. We'll see. We'll see when the next trailer comes out. I might have changed my opinion. But that first trailer that they dropped, garbage.
All right, but
then the Han Solo movies come. Or the trailer.
I'm pumped for that. But Infinity War. This is the culmination of 10 years of fucking Marvel movies. This is their whole fucking.
We're gonna watch.
That's a lot of pressure, though.
Dude, it's gonna be amazing.
When is it out?
Yeah, trailers are good.
April 27th.
Trailers are good. I saw this.
We got to go. I want to do iPick midnight showing. Fuck, you can
do a 7 o'clock showing.
Tickets are probably sold out by now already.
100%. That's what I'm saying. We need to buy tickets now. Figure it out. Lock down.
We could go on a field trip. I bet there's a theater in North New Jersey that's got.
We got to do iPick.
He's like, I bet, because he know that's where he saw Star Wars.
That's true.
And iPick in Northern New Jersey.
There's actually an iPick.
Is there a cheesecake factory? I would do it.
There's an iPick. There's an iPick in Westchester. There's an iPick in Westchester off of the Sawmill.
Oh, okay.
Right near.
All right, let's look it up. We'll figure. We don't have to have these discussions right now.
I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to do it.
I'm going to end this podcast.
Are we still recording?
We're still recording. So, but hey, we're coming back. Make sure you watch Westerbros. Make sure you watch Westworld. Sorry, so you could do Westerbros with us, and obviously Avengers, and then we'll announce some more stuff. Thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of Westerbros. Appreciate the fuck out of you, and peace, man.